welcome back to the Hello 7 podcast. I am delighted to be here with one of my clients, Tamika Carlton, who is the founder and CEO of Couples Experience. Welcome to the podcast, Tamika.
Thank you, Rachel. So happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here too. So you were at ROI recently. You were a VVIP.
I was happy about it, okay?
Yes. Okay. There are those of us who are just like, I always want the best version. If there's a better version, give me that one.
Yes, absolutely. I was like, wait, what are the options? I'm the highest.
Correct. Give me the top of the top.
And I'm grateful that I could. You know, it was one of those things that it's like everyone doesn't have that option, but when you do, like, just make the investment. Just do
make
it.
the investment.
Just do it. It was worth it.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Did you feel it was worth it?
I feel that it was more than worth it. I feel like the connections that I made were solid, and that was like irreplaceable ultimately.
Yes.
And
exactly.
Just the vibe, right? Just like the whole ordeal of sitting on the couches.
First of all,
okay, some of the people were like, "Wait a minute, Tamika, you're on the couches?" And I was like,
you gotta be like, yes.
I mean, yes. And like, I feel like everyone should eventually want to be on the couches.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a statement of like, you go from being not on the couches to on the couches. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so it was a joy. And I really, seriously, just the lessons and just being there and being in the presence of such greatness was something that, once again, was irreplaceable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when we're saying the couches, at ROI, in the main ballroom where, the main stage was, the VIP section is literally like the VIP section at a club.
Yes.
Like it was nothing but gorgeous, plush, velvet couches.
Colorful.
Yes. Stunning.
Yeah.
And so, we had, beautiful seating and you were closer to the stage. And then also the speakers were in that VIP section. Me and my team were in the VIP section. So other VIPs, other influencers that are friends of mine that decided to come were in the VIP section. So there was definitely networking to be done there. It was definitely a great opportunity to be in that space.
Yes.
And then we also had other VIP events that were only for the VIPs. So there was lots of opportunity to connect with speakers and other VIPs that were at the event. So
and have like real conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it was, I made some friends. That's why I'm happy.
You made some bomb friends.
Right? I did. I feel proud. Okay.
So, some of my friends are now Tamika's friends.
Seriously.
Okay?
And that's the way that it should be. I mean, that's the point, right? That's the point of investing in yourself. And even when you are doubting whether you should make the investment, it's really important to just push through and shove through that doubt. That's what I always say.
Yes. Okay. So tell us, what were one or two takeaways from ROI that you went home with?
I think more than anything, the first one that comes to mind is just putting myself out there.
Yes.
And just being able to be authentically yourself. And of course, Pinky Cole, get your ass up.
Yes.
A lot of times you want to sit back and relax. And it's like, no. I mean, I think more than anything, it was like confirmation for everything that I've been thinking about doing and pursuing. And it was like, this is the validation. This was the place where I was connecting with people because of who I am.
Yes.
Right? And like, you talk about it all the time. You're in a space and you just do not have the opportunity to connect with real like-minded individuals like yourself. And to be in that space and to be encouraged and motivated is just something that's beyond. So
yes, exactly. One of my other guests who has been on the podcast and was also at ROI also said the same thing. Like she came home with nothing but momentum.
Yes.
Because it's just like you get fired up and that energy carries you forward.
Absolutely.
And, you feel motivated, you feel clear on what are the action steps I want to take on some of the projects that I want to move forward. And it just like, it's like a shot in the arm.
It is. It's like, where my money at?
Exactly. Correct.
Ready for more money.
Yes. And you're like, okay, now I know what steps I'm about to take. Yes. And it also like, one of the things about being in a space like that and learning, and to me, it was so fascinating to see like, there was a common thread through the various different speakers. Now, like there's some prep that goes on, but there were like interviews that I had no idea what people were going to say. Yeah. And it was so interesting. You could see like the keys to success were they all said it just in different ways.
Absolutely. I remember Amy Purdy just saying just how, like, you build courage.
Yes.
Through just doing.
Yes.
Like, you are struggling to do it, but once you do it, like, and you take those steps and you conquer it, you're like, oh, I got this.
Exactly.
And you may not necessarily always feel that way, but once you do it over and over again, you have more faith in yourself.
Exactly.
So it's powerful.
It's consistent action.
For sure.
And I think the thing that a lot of people took away is like, oh, there's more that I could be doing. There's more opportunity for me, and I'm just not fully taking advantage of it with my actions, right? Like, I'm not putting myself in rooms, or I'm not putting myself out there, right? And so you see where you're kind of holding yourself back a little bit.
Playing small.
Yes. It becomes so crystal clear
so
just
true.
being in the room, right, for
it's
several
like,
days.
Boo, yes, I've been playing small.
Exactly. Okay. So let's talk more about your businesses. So you do two different things. You have the Couples Experience business. So tell us a little bit about that.
So Couples Experience is an inclusive relationship company.
Yes.
And we curate luxury couples retreats and events. And then we also provide relationship resources.
Yes.
So for example, we have an upcoming retreat in the Hamptons. And the goal really is to bring dynamic and diverse individuals together to really like share their experiences and ultimately create a very welcoming space where people feel more inclined to share things that they really may not normally share.
Yes.
And when that happens, my goal is to create that space, but really for more acceptance to occur. Because when people are sharing things that they normally wouldn't share, and you have some type of respect for them, and you may not necessarily agree with what they do, but there's something about you that I respect, I admire, and now I accept you, and now I'm more open to be more accepting to other people.
Yes.
And that's just, so Couples Experience is my thing. That's my vibe. That is like my passion and my purpose to a certain degree. So.
I love it. And so when you say share things that they wouldn't share otherwise, give us an example.
I mean, some people have shared they're in like financial disparity in a relationship.
Yes.
Some people are in heterosexual relationships and are exploring like homosexuality. It really just, it spans the gamut. Like people are just open to being who they are. And I think that when you do that, it's a reality check for everyone that I can share who I am too and be accepted for that, you know?
Awesome. So, and then like they're in a couple, right? And they're sharing like with their partner and the other community.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the goal is like, what's the payoff for the couple that they're going to experience?
The goal is for understanding and connection within the two people, of course, and sometimes there's a throuple too, but whatever that may be. And then just to walk away with more friends.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of times when you're in a relationship, like you have no couple friends.
Yes.
Or, you know what I mean?
Exactly. People that you can go on double dates
Exactly.
with.
Exactly. So you walk away with that too, and just a heightened sense of awareness and connection.
Yes.
I think is
great. Awesome. Yeah. That's beautiful. What inspired you to start that company?
Good question. So when I got with Logan, my now husband, we started dating in 2016. And I think that, we were experiencing really quickly, like, we were in this great relationship, but we were experiencing like real life stuff.
Yes.
And like a lot of people just were not talking about that. Like you're struggling to like figure it out, you're arguing about stuff. Like I was the type of person that wanted to leave when we got into an argument. And he was like, you got to stay. And I was like, so it's like, but no, right?
It's like every time you get mad, we getting divorced.
Right? I'm like, let me put my shoes on, okay? So it was like we were going through these things, and who was I going to talk to? I'm not talking to my mom about that. I'm not talking to my single friends, and I felt like there was a gap in the market, and I was like, we need to have inclusive, real, solid relationships, and you and I, Logan, will start it.
Yes.
We'll do it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So tell us about the other thing that you do.
Yes. So I have Tamika Carlton Collective, which is a digital marketing agency.
Okay.
And I help impactful businesses increase their online reach and get an influx of inbound leads. And a lot of that is through SEO. A lot of it is through like social media management, website development, things of that nature. But I'm kind of a bit of a tech geek strategically when it comes to SEO. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
I just started the company actually about a year ago, but as far as marketing, I've been doing it for 15 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Couples Experience is a new company as well?
Couples Experience 2018.
Okay. Gotcha. And why do two different things? Why not pick one? You knew I was gonna ask. Y'all knew I was gonna ask.
Well, I feel like my expertise is in marketing.
Yes.
And that is the money maker.
Yes.
For now. Couples experience is the passion project. And a lot of it really was because, the majority of what we do is in-person events. So during COVID, it was like, you're not doing that.
Yes.
But I did create a magazine, and I sold the magazine digitally, which we actually did very well.
Awesome.
But ultimately, I think I don't know, Rachel.
You don't know why you're doing two things? Great. Let's discuss that. Okay. So do you want couples experience to be the thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So right now it's a passion project, but you want it to be your main thing. Okay. All right. So, and then the marketing thing is the way you're like kind of paying the bills. And it's something you're good at.
Yeah, and paying the bills well.
Yes.
Yes. So it's also hard to like let go of like paying the bills well.
Yeah. Trust me, I get that.
Okay, right.
I get that because I was a lawyer, and so that paid well, even though I was no longer passionate about doing.
Sure.
I felt limited by it. But it was making a lot of money, so it's not like I could just walk away today because I got kids to feed.
Right.
Right.
I got Tamika to feed.
Okay. That's important too. Okay. So let's talk about what do you think is standing in the way for making couples experience the thing that pays even better than the marketing does?
Time.
Okay.
So I'm so invested in the marketing business. And I am the bread and butter of that marketing business. And ultimately, I would have to be the bread and butter for couples experience. So, getting the name out there more would be based off of Tamika.
Yes.
And I just feel like I don't have the time.
Okay, but that's a lie.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
Because you're actually a marketing expert, right?
Yes.
So, is there a way that you could spend maybe one day a week creating content or marketing strategies that would generate the sales that you need for couples experience?
Yes.
And so for couples experience to become the business that is generating even more than your marketing company, how many events would you need to do a year?
I would say at least 4 retreats.
Okay.
Probably, and then we can trickle in some smaller events like wine tastings or brunch events, things like that.
Question, do you have once people go to a retreat, how do they stay in touch? Is there a way?
I email them.
You email them?
Yes, consistently.
Okay. Is there a different way that they can maybe stay connected with each other and you?
Oh, like a group?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I'm told I have those from time to time.
That's a great idea.
I feel like there's an upsell on the back of that retreat.
That's so true. No, seriously, a way to stay connected and invested in just more so beyond the retreats. Yes.
Can you think of something that you could do in that, on the back end of a retreat that could be fun, that you would enjoy doing, that you would enjoy delivering, that would add value
at one
for
point
them?
I was thinking about doing some type of subscription based here is it, but it would be a lot of work. Here's a package.
Well, that's what it always is.
Right.
That's what's always stopping us. It's I can make a lot of money, but it would be a lot of work.
But it would be a gift, a monthly gift package to stay connected in your relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, and you would get different items, whether it's games or whatever it could be. Books, things of that nature.
Right, a date night in a box.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But that's a lot of work, right?
Is it that much work?
I mean, no, probably not. It would be some little research up front to get the items and all of those things and get it packaged. But I can build partnerships with people that would, okay.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
It's all about just starting to, here's the thing. We do this thing where we say, the thing that I want is out of the question right now. I could have it in 5 years or in 3 years or whatever made up timeline that we create that then extends the timeline that we get to what we want, right? Because the work always expands to the timeline we create. So if we say, in 5 years I could do it, okay, or we could say in 6 weeks I could do it, or in 3 months I could do it, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to take that long.
That's
What's
true.
a version that we could execute? But we do this thing where we say that's not something I can have right now, and so then we say it's out of the question and we make it out of the question with our actions. Or we could say, the thing that I want, how can I have it as quickly as humanly possible? And when we do that, we open up possibility, right? Where our brain starts going, okay, well, could I do this? Could I do that? What are some of the things? That sounds too hard, or that doesn't sound fun.
Right.
I don't think they'd value this, but this sounds good, right? How can I do that? Who could help me with that, right? And you start to, when you open up and you say like, okay, I want this, and I don't care that it's hard, or I don't care that most people take 10 years to build that, I want it tomorrow, right? What can I do? And you just start brainstorming, you open up possibility, right? And you use your creativity to solve the problem.
Accurate. I mean, yes, you're absolutely right. I think I have like created this thing in my mind where it's too massive to conquer, but it's really not. And I've been like thinking like, what can I do that's outside of the retreats that is revenue building?
Yes.
Consistently.
Exactly.
Because the retreats really are one-off to a certain degree. I mean, people return, but ultimately,
Exactly. So doing something like a membership where they get a box every month, and maybe there's also a call with like an expert that you bring in.
Yes.
Since you enjoy networking.
I do.
Now you can get paid to network, right? And go meet people, and then you can bring that expert in to come in and talk about a specific issue that they would be interested in hearing about. Yeah, I mean,
that's so great.
It's kind of what I do.
Yeah, very good.
But literally, like, imagining, like, what is a subscription or membership model where that connection that they initially create at the retreat, that you can help them keep that going. You know, and they maybe pay a monthly fee. At the retreat, you just upsell them right into it. And then the great thing is that community, you can tell them every time you have another retreat and maybe they want to come to another one, you could ask that community, where would y'all like to go next? What kinds of retreats would y'all like to do? Do you want to do sporting things together? What do we want to do?
Right.
Exactly. And then just create different experiences. Like, I mean, that sounds like a club I'd want to join.
I mean, really, me too. I mean, it sounds great, and it actually is doable.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, so maybe the massive, like my initial thoughts about the club that we have at Hello 7, like part of that was, I was thinking like, I would love to have specific like locations, like a clubhouse in all these different cities.
I thought about that too.
Yes. To have like diverse and inclusive entrepreneurs have these places to go where you can go hang out with schmillies in your town or when you're traveling. You know what I mean? You can meet clients there, right? And whatever, just stay there for the night if you're in town, right? And that kind of thing. And so I'm like, it's like Soho House, but better. And inclusive.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that's what one of my thoughts was about creating the club. But that's like not version 1.0, right? Because it requires a lot of capital. So it's like, okay, what's a version 1.0 that I can get this party started with? And then over time, we build the community, and then over time, you build the revenue.
Oh, I'm getting excited.
Yes. And it's like, so you can have this huge, huge vision and say, okay, what's the 1.0 version of that I can get out the door today or in the next 6 weeks? You know what I mean? Or in the next 90 days. Like, let's move in 90-day increments instead of saying, in 10 years, I'll be able to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, who cares? You're going to be a completely different person in 10 years. Forget about 10 years, right? Let's talk about today.
Okay.
And so then you start to think about like, okay, so if I'm going to create this membership community, awesome. Like, do you have a list of people that have gone on retreats or that are interested in your retreats?
That would be the start.
Yeah. You just email them and say, hey, we're doing this thing. You want to join?
That's awesome. Okay.
I mean, you're the marketing expert.
I know, right? Like, duh.
It's like the cobbler has no shoes, right? The marketing expert has no marketing.
I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I barely want to do social media myself, but I'm like promoting social media all the time. But it's one of those things that even the idea of like the subscription and the membership, I'm like, oh, it's so much. But like talking to you, it's like, okay, come on, 1.0, you got this. Like, and you know how to do it.
Yes. So what are some of the barriers that you see right now? Like if you were to, let's say you're like, okay, I want to do this. I want to make it happen in the next 90 days. What's something that would come up that would get in your way?
The immediate thought is, oh my gosh, do I have to have stock of like things in my house to like pack up? pack up to people.
Oh my God, do I need storage space?
I know that's so bad, but seriously, I'm like, it just sounds like a lot more work to make sure, like inventory wise, like ensuring that I have enough inventory, because years ago I worked in retail, like before all of this. I'm like, oh, retail and like inventory and packaging things up. But I think I have to look at it from the perspective of this is actually going to be fun for you.
And how could it be fun? And like actually insist that that's one of the criteria, is that it has to be fun.
Yes.
So what feels fun to you? Like maybe it's hosting events once a month that people could choose to come to. Maybe it's having some virtual talk, right? Fireside chat with someone who would be interesting to this group of people. Maybe it's we only take inventory that ships direct from, the warehouse that we're buying from, instead of having to land at my home or having to purchase storage space, right? So, I think limitations are actually opportunities, right, to get creative. So it's like, okay, so I can't do it except this way. Great. Let me look for the ways that it can be done in this way to make it feel manageable. Okay, so storage space, we've solved that. What's next? What are the other problems?
The other problems would be just doing it, like just making the time to do it. I mean, you said once a week. Oh, okay.
Okay, so tell me about time. Why do you have the time? Can you make the time? What would stop you from doing so?
Of course I can make the time, Rachel.
Less Netflix and
okay.
New business born.
Yes. I think it really, I think another thing too, I think I was like thinking massively big for the marketing company so I could remove myself.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I want to hire like a me to do all of the things in the marketing company. But I think I just need to take some time out of the marketing company and schedule some time to do this.
Yes. And could you hire someone to help you in this business? I mean, you could do that, right? You could hire help in the marketing company to free up some of your time so that you can spend more time over here, for sure. Or you could hire help over here. Like, you could do it either way. Yes.
That's true.
What do you feel like is most doable?
Probably hiring help. I really want to hire help for the marketing company.
Yes.
That's what I really want, but I think that'll take more time.
Yes.
It'll probably take less time to find someone to help me with couples experience.
Okay. And so with the marketing company, is that something that you envisioned? Like, if couples experience was making all the money that you wanted to make, would you still do the marketing company, or would you shut it down or sell it?
Sell it.
Okay.
But that, in my vision, that is the goal.
To sell it.
Yes. But
are you selling it because you feel like that's the only way to get to the thing that you want to do? Or are you selling it because it's like that's really what you want to do, is to build a marketing company that you can sell?
I really think the vision of the marketing company and the way that I relationship build with the marketing company should be the way that marketing is done.
Yes.
So I think that having this company and selling it, if that happens, would be great. But if couples experience blew up, I would probably say bye-bye.
Okay, great. Because it's like, I agree with you, right? Like, the way that I used to practice law was different, right? And the way that I led my company and all of that. And now that work is like, I have lots of lawyers who are clients of mine at Hello 7. And so I teach them how to do it a different way. But I don't have to keep the law practice to be teaching what I do, you know?
Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yes. And I think if you're teaching, I think sometimes what happens is the initial thing that we choose, which is great. We need to choose something to start making some money, right? We got to make a decision, get out there, sell something, right? But then you start selling the thing and it starts to feel limited.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And it's not, like, I like marketing. I enjoy it. I'm good at it. But it doesn't fill me up.
Yes.
Like, it's not in my soul.
That's
you know
not,
what I mean?
It's not your assignment.
Yeah, it's not my assignment. It's really not. But, okay.
Yes. And so it's like, okay, the connections and the relationships that you could teach people how to do in a marketing setting, you can do that in a bigger setting.
Absolutely. In
the couple's experience. And then they could be taking that to their workplace, right? To all of their relationships, not just their romantic one.
Right. I love that.
Yes.
That's the joy.
Bigger.
Yes. I love it. Seriously. Like, it feels doable. It feels like this is what I'm meant to do. And it's interesting because for a long time I was like, and maybe other people feel this way too, like, I was pitching myself as a marketing person for so long. Yes. And at ROI, I was like, you know what? I'm coming in just with couples experience.
There you go.
And everyone was like, what?
Tell me more.
What do you do? Like, marketing people are like, oh.
Oh, is that what you do?
Right. Exactly. But like couples experience, it was like, oh my gosh, tell me more.
Yes.
Like explain, express. So it really is when it's meant for you to do it.
Exactly. And it's like, it's for marketing people, right? For some of them, the way they would talk about marketing, people would be like, yes,
oh my gosh,
I want to hire you.
Meanwhile, they're like, Tamika just said marketing.
Yes. Because it's like, that's not your real thing.
Exactly.
I can tell it's not your real thing.
Exactly.
And we're just not as enthused about it. And so we're not talking about it in a way that really gets other people excited.
That's true.
But when we're excited, like, selling is really just transferring enthusiasm, right?
That's
like
true.
transferring that enthusiasm that you hold for the thing to another person. They get excited about it too, and then they want to be a part of it.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I always tell people, like, do what you love. Like, if you can connect with something that is fun for you, and you don't even, it's like, it doesn't have to be the end product that you love, but do you love what you show up and do on a daily basis, right? Do you love the mission, right? And the end result that people get? Like, love something about this work deeply and enough that it's going to motivate you when it gets hard.
Yes.
And when you're like, oh, that's going to be work.
Well, it's easy to talk about too. Easier to talk about. Like,
totally.
Yeah.
It's much easier to talk about something that you absolutely love to do.
Yes.
Than it is to talk. You're like, okay, is that what you need?
Right.
You're gonna pay me to talk about this again? Okay.
I know, right?
Let me go through the motions and read the slides. You know what I mean?
It's so true. It's so
Versus what you won't shut up about and what you're talking about when you go have cocktails with your friends.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And it's funny too because I can hear Robert, your friend Robert,
yes.
obviously. And when I did Strength on Stages, and I tried to do like a story about marketing, and he was like, rewind.
He was like,
no, he was like, that's not gonna work. And he was like, talk about what you like to do.
Yes.
Talk about what you're passionate about. And I did, and it came out, you know. And it's like, I've been holding back, but yes, okay.
Yes. Say yes to the one.
Say yes. I love it.
Okay, so making this new, so if you think about, okay, what do you make in your marketing? Making this new, the couples experience business, replace that on a monthly basis, what you make, right? We could literally look at the pricing and say, okay, this new membership is X amount a month.
Yes.
This is how much income we need to replace. We need this many members to replace that income. Great. Now let's go tackle and get that many members.
Get those members.
Right. It's just math.
It really is. And the math is mathin'.
The math is mathing. Exactly. Okay, so what other potential barriers do you see in trying to make couples experience the full-time thing in the next 90 days?
Ooh, 90 days? Did we?
Yes.
Oh, we didn't say 90 days.
We said 90 days earlier. I think you just did. I think it just hit you now.
Right. 90 days. I would say, you know what I would probably say, and this is kind of something, just motivation and like encouragement, like with like people around me. And yes, I can do it on my own, and Logan's great, but sometimes you need someone that's in the entrepreneurship world to like, yes, you got this, you know?
Okay.
So
awesome.
Maybe I just need to figure that out.
Maybe. There's this cool club I heard of.
Right. Where I actually tell people what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a couple ways you can do that. One, you could take Pinky Cole's advice and build in public.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
Build this new thing, talk about this new thing that you're building every day, post about it, share something about it, right? If that feels good to you. You can get yourself into a mastermind or into a membership community where you can say, here's my goal, here's what I want to do. Does anybody want to join me? What do you want to build in the next 90 days? We can hold each other accountable, right? And you can share in community with other business owners. But like knowing that support is such a key part of the journey. And it's so interesting when I have these interviews and these conversations on the podcast, it comes up all the time where people are like, well, I had this support and that was key to making it happen. So build that support in.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you said was a challenge was finding your business besties.
Yes.
So what are you doing about that?
I don't know. Well, I went to ROI. I mean,
there you go.
And like networking.
Yes.
So I think I'm in the phase of developing those relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
And did you make some friends and exchange some numbers there?
For sure.
Yeah. So maybe it's just following up and booking some coffee dates, whether virtual or in person, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe join something that's like there every day so that you can be a part of a community that is motivating you.
Good idea.
There you go.
Got it. I can't even. it. There you go.
Well, because become a customer of the same thing that you're going to build.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
it's like if you're building a membership community, maybe that's what you join so that you can see like, oh, I see how this benefits, and it might spark different ideas for you as well.
For sure. That's exciting.
Yay! I'm glad you're excited.
I am excited for real. Seriously.
Awesome.
Be awesome.
Are you so excited to leave this podcast with a whole to-do list of work?
Oh, of course, yes. Yes, I think I am. At least it's like quality work.
Yes.
Yes, it's quality work that I need to do that's good for me.
Yes.
Yeah, and good for the people. Sorry.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's work that leads you to what your actual goals are.
Yes.
Right? It's like, let's say, okay, if we need 100 people in this membership community to replace your old income from the marketing work,
Yes.
and you get to 50 by the end of 90 days, you're halfway there. That's dope.
That's
we still
awesome,
celebrating,
right?
right?
Okay, yes.
It's fun to just try, like, learn to like gamify things, y'all.
Yes.
Where it's just like, hey, I don't know if we could do it, but let's try it and see what
Let's
happens.
For sure.
Maybe we'll get there. And that's the science behind the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal.
Yes.
It's like, it's so much more exciting and motivating to do something that feels out of reach
For
than
sure.
it is to do something that's like, ho-hum, like, you know,
Right.
I'll get there in 12 years or
It's
whatever.
true.
That's boring.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I feel like 90 days is a short period of time, but it's a good amount of time to get results.
Yeah, you can make some progress in
Yes,
90
yes.
days. Yes. And so that's what I would encourage you to do is like, you know, when you leave here, it's like, okay, let's put together our homework items. Like, what's 90 days out from today? Let me mark that down. What is it? It's February, early February. So March, April, by early May, right? So that's 90 days. And then saying, okay, in 90 days, here's where I want to be. Here's what I want to have done. And then just.
Are you ready for the success story, though?
I'm so ready. We're going to have you back.
Okay, I'm so ready.
Like, we need to know. Did you launch it?
Seriously, I'm ready for the other side.
Yes, exactly.
I can see it, yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I do is I actually like lay in bed at night sometimes and just visualize the thing that I want to have.
Yes.
And you know, it's like, I don't know how I'm going to get there.
Listen.
But I'm just visualizing and like believing it and seeing this vision and putting color on this vision.
Yes.
And it's like, I do that at night. Like, instead of, you know, I don't know, listening to a podcast or reading a book. Sometimes I read a book, but sometimes I just lay in bed and do that until I fall asleep.
Yes. And the vision really does become clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So why don't you pitch everybody on your couples experience membership that you're about to create?
Well, listen, y'all better join because the couples experience membership is coming to you in 90 days. Okay. And it will be full of connection, community, and really positive resources for you to elevate in your relationship and beyond. So get ready because I'm ready.
Yes,
and Rachel's ready too. Okay,
I'm ready. I'm so proud of you.
I'm excited.
Listen, okay, so and tell the folks where they can find you if they want to follow
Yes.
you and follow along this journey.
Yes, please follow along the journey. Tamika_Carlton JBP and on Instagram, and then couplesexperience.net.
Yay! So
I'm excited.